Change is always a difficult time, and that's the reason I don't feel a challenge to change it to AI. I think AI could be the most disruptive I've seen in my career. Y2K is a great gift for India.
Yeah.
If you look at what is US is investing,
Yeah.
that is AI training, whereas India is AI consumption and AI use cases, where we have the best use cases globally. That is where India is going to invest. If you want to be third biggest economy, the only way I believe is digital infrastructure.
I'm here with Raju Vegesna, Global Chairman and Managing Director of Sify Technologies, who's back in India after creating world-class companies in Bay Area. Now he's creating a world-class company out of India. And we are at Davos, where the high point is basically AI. And he's one of the builders of AI, who's putting up a big data center business in India. One of the really interesting things I found in your career is basically 5 different versions of Sify that you've taken it through.
Yes.
First of all, what made you do that? And second, how difficult was it to change?
I don't think it's easy. It's difficult. Change is always a difficult time, and that is the reason I don't feel a challenge to change it to AI. So as you know, Sify has started internet pioneer in India. Most of Indians got internet from Sify, either cyber cafes or broadband to home. Since I took over, I converted into enterprise company, and today our network reaches 1,700 plus cities across the country, and we have one of the biggest network provider in India for enterprise customers. Similarly, we build big portfolio of the data centers. Now we are building AI. So after generation, we target of enterprise network. Then we evolved as an ICT company. Then we evolved as a cloud company, cloud as a core. We launched our private cloud in 2012. Then we became a digital infrastructure. Now we are AI. So if you look at all these processes are thoughtfully, look at 5 years apart, and we journey. That is the way I look at it. Irrespective of an enterprise or a consumer, I believe 5 to 7 years, companies has to evolve to be relevant.
Yeah.
And that is the way I look at it.
So as a founder, when you look at the market, and obviously you get a lot of signals from the market, how do you know when to protect the core? And how do you know when to disrupt yourself? Because disrupting yourself is, a lot of people talk about it, but very few are managed to do it.
See, I don't believe anything is a disruption. I considered it is an evolution. A company like Sify is evolving. See, disruption for me is a revolution. That means we're completely changing the thing. But in an evolution process, we are evolving same enterprise customers, but we are adding different building blocks as the customers are improving. See, India as a progressing, supporting a mission critical applications, we are building what is customer is required. That is, I consider evolution, not a disruption.
But if you look at the evolution of Indian, say, IT tech companies, you've done a very contrarian bet. You've bet basically on data centers and network, while the Indian companies have stayed asset light. Why this contrarian?
I am basically a product and innovator kind of mindset. Doing that, after build 3 successful companies in US as a product companies, developing chips across various markets, and being lived in US for 4 generations of technology evolution, I considered I want to try in India creating disruptive things. That is the reason we are building disruptive infrastructure. What is, I believe, India needs a good AI foundation. That's what we are building now.
So do you consider AI as the most disruptive of the various technology phases that you've seen?
I think AI could be the most disruptive I've seen in my career.
Wow.
One thing I see is also for India, Y2K is a great gift for India.
Yeah.
But that is, we conquered, India is cashed on our math and English knowledge, but AI is another disruption, and with our good mathematical skills and English skills will help. But only one thing is different. That time India was leading. Now there is a lot of competition. That is where I see is India has to evolve in AI.
So in the AI era, uh, what will be the biggest constraint for India? I mean, do you think it will be compute capacity? Do you think it will be power, data, capital, or talent?
I think India has a lot of power, plenty of power. India has resources. India has a lot of skills. I think India has the most IT services skills. And how do we transform these people into AI? I think with the proper training, and we are very flexible, characteristics, our, jugaad, our DNA,
Yeah.
we can transform faster. I think with a good training, we all transform being the biggest AI workforce in the world. I'm not have a concern. I think consumption in India is going to take time. Like we are in a consumption. See, yeah, always India is a technology consumption country. Now we have to be technology creation country. That is going to be the biggest challenge, and we need to develop a lot of creativity and the products.
But that requires a mind shift change. I mean, is Indian IT industry ready for that kind of mindset? We've never done products well. We've for last 25 years, we haven't built world-class world-class products. And second, most of our IT companies are not ready for AI.
No, I don't think if they are not ready for AI, they will be in trouble. I think if I look at it, what is all the IT companies hosted in Davos, and I visited a couple of them, they're transforming. Yes, they're taking time, but I think I'm very confident. I'm very impressed all these companies how they're transforming, and in this process, I think the products will come. It's not only these IT companies. There are a lot of startups. If you look at in our startup ecosystem is getting better. I see a lot of products is coming from India in AI.
One of the important players in the whole AI game are going to be basically these global hyperscalers. What role should the Indian companies like Sify play? They should be a partner, competitor, or sovereign infrastructure providers.
So at the beginning we are a partner because we don't have that kind of a muscle like hyperscaler, and maybe we may do some private clouds because Indian customers wants to host close to their chest their data. We offer those services. That is I don't consider as a competition. It's an hybrid. It's a cooperation with hyperscalers. Third is sovereignty. I think ultimately India has to get focus on the data inside in India. I think ultimately the processes when the technology and India is ready, I think ultimately India will do that.
Do you think that Indian companies, the rate of adoption of Indian companies is good enough? Or they're just experimenting and doing proofs of concept at a time when the race has started and whoever is the most AI compliant company or AI adaptive company will win the race in the next 4 or 5 years?
Yes, I agree. I consider is the different phases of AI adoption.
Yeah.
If you look at what is US is investing,
Yeah.
that is AI training.
Yeah.
Because they have the great data of research, whereas India is AI consumption and AI usage cases, where we have the best use cases globally. That is where India is going to invest. I'm seeing a lot of shift in Indian enterprises, and not only experiment. Now the board is putting what is our AI plan. Of course, they're going to ask return on investment. It's going to take time. But with a solid mindset and solid leadership and solid targets, I think India enterprises can take advantage of the AI.
So when you talk to CEOs, a lot of questions would be around AI. What's the most frequent question you get, and where do you think the Indian companies are getting it wrong?
I think first is, like I said, AI, the foundation has to be good. To be apply the models, they have to have right data. I see that is the biggest challenge in India, having a right data.
AI is going to be a strategic asset. Do you think that the state-backed capital is needed to make India competitive?
I think some extent where you need it. One of the thing is today AI is expensive is because the IT infrastructure, including GPUs, it's very cost for India kind of market because we are not doing a lot of training. For our is a consumption or a usage model. Can we, an enterprise can invest such kind of a GPU cost? That is a challenge. I think as the market is evolving, I think India can take advantage of it. And what is Indian government is doing AI mission, and all those things are very positive, and creating the skill and infrastructure required. How India is going to evolve? Yes, it is taking time, but I think India is in a right track.
Are Indian companies investing enough in AI, or they need to go much beyond the traditional IT budget? Because this is basically it's kind of an existential crisis in some industries.
Yes. So, yes, it's a question of how you want to take advantage of AI. It's a different models, Suppose some of the people already have their processor automated, all those things, then you see the AI is an incremental benefit. But the people who don't have those things, I think this AI is going to be a must, and it's going to make them a leapfrog. So that is the way I look at it. I meet different people in the business, and they have a different thing. And if they don't have, the way I look at it, two important things: AI plans and cyber security.
Yeah.
And both are very important. As we are using AI to improve, and people are going to use AI to create the threats also.
Yes.
So equally important, and people, organizations who invest in AI and who invest sufficient cyber securities, that is a must for any enterprise.
One of the things that that's been talked about in Davos is India becoming the third largest economy. Do you think AI can help that help speed in the process of becoming?
Yes, definitely it will accelerate the process. It's definitely will accelerate the process to becoming third biggest economy, and India has to take advantage and invest properly on AI. It's not just only government; all the enterprises also equally responsible to invest in AI.
So one of the things that is termed globally is this whole India's robust digital infrastructure. Do you think government should also build a similar kind of infrastructure for AI also?
I don't think government should build it, but government should create the policies to private players to create that kind of infrastructure. My belief is how many roads we build in India, how many metros we build, it's not going to be sufficient for India growth. If you want to be third biggest economy and you're talking 10 trillion or 20 trillion to compete other people, the only way I believe is digital infrastructure, and AI will accelerate that.
Is India at risk of becoming consumer of global AI platforms rather than a builder of core technology and infrastructure? We haven't really seen cutting edge technology coming out of India.
Yes, I agree with you. One thing is we should not be again a consumer of the technology. All these years we are the consumers of technology. Now I think India reached certain stage. We should be providers and contributors globally, creating the technology. I think it's going to be transition will happening. It will happen because the kind of entrepreneurship and new entrepreneurs are coming. We will contribute to the globe. That is the change I see is going to happen this time.
I'm sure you must have met a lot of entrepreneurs who are trying to build AI startups. Do you see a new kind of startup ecosystem around AI? We had one around 2008, we had another around 2012. Do you see in the next 26, 27 a new kind of AI startup revolution starting in India?
Yes, I think there is AI will opportunity for a lot of, if you look at it in financial sector and health sciences or even agriculture. All those things offers new opportunities for a lot of entrepreneurs, and AI is a very good platform for all these entrepreneurs to exceed to the next level.
What is the most exciting for you in coming back to India and building for India after 40 years in US?
One is I build outside of India those things. Now I am building in India, so that is the most exciting.
So we'll see a new Sify in the next 3 years?
Yes.
Great. Thank you so much for spending time.
Thank you.
Pleasure meeting.